He and I, we have studied together in engineering. He's worked in a variety of organizations like KPMG, which are very large consulting organizations. Two things I want to tell about Ramesh. He is currently owner of an organization which is working with something called persuasive technology, which persuades IT, which persuades human beings to work better. So we are partners in that program. But more importantly, he's also got some very interesting talent. He has defeated a gentleman called Mr. Vishwanathan Anand in the game of chess. So he is in a different league.
Yes, he's a different league.
So this is the first batch. Just a few words to
very
that.
good, very good.
Just
What is the thing on?
This is all about developing confidence. I mean, they are all transitioning from school to college, and school is more of a comfort zone. You get used to 12 years, and then you suddenly move into a new area, and then a lot of these uncertainties in life you need to really
Correct.
Just a few words. It will be good.
No, but I think it's interesting. I'll tell you one of my favorite stories. I don't. But so there was this in the 1950s. There was this runner from Czechoslovakia, and he won the 5,000 and 10,000 Olympics. And then he had time to spare. Emil Zatopek was his name. So in those days he had time to spare. He finished, and that time you have to register in advance. And the marathon was 10. So 10,000 meters, 10 kilometers, marathon 42 kilometers. So on a whim he went and registered because it was 4-5 days away. He went and registered. And he had no idea how to run. He had never run that distance in his life. And this was Olympics. So he went and he decided that the only strategy was there's a world champion called Peters. So he said, I'll run with Peters because Peters knows how to run this. So whatever pace Peters run, I'll also run. So he decided to run with Peters. And Zatopek's English was not very good. So he ran with Peters, and he ran about 15 kilometers, and he turned to Peters and asked him, saying, are we running too slowly? So Peters was a British guy, and he had the sense of humor. So he wanted to play the fool with Zatopek. So he said, no, we are running too slow. We should pick up pace. So Zatopek thought he was serious. He picked up pace. He ran fast. After 25 kilometers, Peters dropped out of exertion. And Zatopek won. He won a marathon. Only because he didn't know what technically was the so-called right thing or what everybody else does. So he just did what felt natural to him. So I think, all of us, no? We sometimes tend to look at somebody else and say that's how we should be. I think the important thing is just be natural. Just do what comes best to you. Often turns out to be better than what you can pick up from someone else.
Comes soon after this.
So it's all about, we all of us are unique, and all of us have our uniqueness. Let's nurture that. I will tell you a very dramatic example. Do you know there are people in this world who are hired to kill people because they are sharpshooters? So they are skilled in that, and they get paid for being 100% because sharpshooters are hired to kill people who are important, right? And the person may not get a second chance to shoot again. So they are hired, and the better you are, the more money is paid to you to shoot. So the point that I'm trying to make is everybody has a uniqueness. Everybody at times you don't know what it is. Often we follow what our elders, our parents tell us to do, and we do it more like an obedient child. That does not mean we can be disobedient. Like an obedient child, and then realize we have sacrificed what is good for us. If you look at India, a lot of women, very talented, but they gave up what their talent was just to get married as per their parents' wish, because at one point of time, the girl child was a burden on the parents till she got married off. Am I right or wrong? And some of them are rediscovering themselves. So therefore, what we are planning to do is to look at homemakers. They are going through a different type of challenges. Some of them will rediscover. They will have a different program which is aimed at them looking at their lives. So this example which Ramesh sir spoke about It's a very unique example. He had time, he did not know, so he ran. And he won. So what I am saying is, prior experience is important, but not the only reason why people succeed. And the more you explore new things, the higher the chances of success. Typically, what do? If we have to go from home to a place, let's say to a tutor's house, we normally take the same route. Do we do it or not? We don't explore other routes. If you don't do it, how will you know that whether that's a shorter route or more effective, efficient way of traveling?
Did you read the poem, The Road Not Taken?
Yeah.
You did?
It's good.
So the idea is that you can do only when you are confident. What are we worried about? Uncertainty. We are worried about things we don't know. Am I right or wrong? But if you have that confidence in yourself and in your abilities, that doesn't matter what the circumstances are. Can anybody guarantee that it will not rain when you are outside and without an umbrella? Nobody can guarantee. But if it rains, if you know what to do to protect yourself, your documents, etc., etc., and mobile phone, then you will walk out without thinking about the rains. But if you are not confident, you will be worried if there is rain, if there is rain, if there is rain, and your life could be different. So the idea of this program is to give you that confidence that come what may, I am ready for the world. I can face the world as it presents itself to me because I am confident. It's me who can face the world. Are you getting my point? That is the important point about this thing. And this can only happen when you come out. Talk to man. There is nothing called right or wrong. Express yourself. You may disagree with each other. That's perfectly fine. Because disagreement is a way of learning. So just express. That's the. And then you will yourself realize that 3 days down the line, you have moved out of this office feeling much more confident. Okay, so you guys are lucky that Ramesh is just moving from Bangalore, and he is a great person to know. Connect up with him on the social media. Okay, this is Ramesh Srinivas. He lives in Bangalore, and
All the best.
what a wonderful person. Okay,
Nice.
all right. Continue this. Nina, I'm sorry we barged in.
Sorry,
but-
yeah.
Absolutely.